Fifth graders, welcome to Go Math Lesson 9.4 Line Graphs. Pause while you write Lesson 9.4 line graphs in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's lesson objective in your math notebook. Today's objective is analyze and explain data in a line graph. Copy today's vocabulary in your math notebook. Interval. An interval is the difference between one number and the next on the scale of a graph. A line graph is a graph that uses line segments to show how data changes over time. A scale is the series of numbers placed at fixed distances that label a graph. Today we'll be starting on page 381 in your Go Math book, and we'll be reading the Unlock the Problem. It says to graph the data, use the graph to determine the times between which the greatest temperature change occurred. We are going to write our ordered pairs in the purple box on the right, and we are going to get the information from the table where it says recorded temperatures. Step 1 says for the vertical axis, choose a scale and an interval that are appropriate for the data. You can show a break in the scale between 0 and 40 since there are no temperatures between 0 degrees and 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it says that we choose a scale and an interval that are appropriate for the data, it means that we choose numbers to put on our vertical axis that match up with the numbers that we have. So we have to look at our information that's in our table, and we see that our lowest number is 44, and our highest number is 51. And our numbers are grouped pretty closely together, so we want to have numbers on our scale that are pretty close together. So we don't want to spread them out by 10, we want to spread them out by only 2. So that's why our numbers go from 40 to 54, and they just go up by increments of 2. And then step 2 says for the horizontal axis, write the times of day. And then it says write a title for the graph, and notice that the title for the graph matches the title that's in the table, and name each axis. So again, the names for the axes match the titles that are in the table. Then graph the ordered pairs. So the ordered pairs come from the table. So at 1 o'clock it was 51 degrees. At 2 o'clock it was 49 degrees. At 3 o'clock, I'm just going to put a 3, it was 47 degrees. At 4 o'clock, it was 44 degrees. At 5 o'clock, it was 45 degrees. At 6 o'clock, it was 44 degrees. At 7 o'clock, it was 46 degrees. So then it says to graph the ordered pairs. And we're going to complete the graph by connecting the points with line segments. So they started off our graph. They graphed the point at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So we need to graph the points at 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock was 44 degrees, so we go across to the 4 o'clock and up to 44 degrees, and across to the 5 o'clock and up to 45 degrees, so that's halfway between our 44 and our 46, and then across to the 6 o'clock and up to 44 degrees, and then across to 7 o'clock and up to 46 degrees. And then we follow directions and we complete our graph by connecting the line segments. Don't forget that step because otherwise you don't have a line graph. It says look at each line segment in the graph and find the line segment that shows the greatest change in temperature between two consecutive points. So when it says the greatest change, you're looking for the steepest part. Because when the line graph is steepest, that means that it has the greatest change. So when we look at our line graph, we can see that it is the steepest between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So that's when we had the greatest temperature change. It was between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Let's move on to the next page. It says, try this. Jill used a rain gauge to collect data on the total rainfall during 6 days at her home in Miami. She read the amount of rain collected in the rain gauge each day and did not pour it out. Her data is shown in the table. We're going to make a line graph to display Jill's data. So it says write the related pairs of data as ordered pairs. So they've already started for us. They have Monday, and Monday had 2 inches. Rainfall in inches was 2 inches. Tuesday was another 2 inches. Wednesday was 3 inches. Thursday was 6 inches. Friday was 8 inches. And Saturday was 9 inches. And then it says choose a scale and an interval for the data. So we need to draw our graph, and remember you can use a ruler. I can't, so your line should be much straighter than mine. And we need to title our graph, Rainfall Collected, and our graph title should match our table title. And where it says day up in the table, that goes on the x-axis because that is time, so that goes on our x-axis. And then on our y-axis we put the rainfall in inches. And so we need to start our graph at 0 because she started her rain gauge, she put it out there and it was empty. And then we'll have it have 1 inch of rain, and then 2 inches, and then 3 inches, and then 4 inches, 5 inches, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to have each line equal an inch of rain, which makes sense for the size of our graph paper and our numbers. And I hope yours is much neater than mine. And then our days, we can spread out a little bit. So we can have Monday, and then skip a couple, and have Tuesday over here, and then skip a couple more, Wednesday, skip a couple more, Thursday, skip a couple more, Friday. Uh-oh, I might have skipped too many. No, we've got enough. We'll just put Saturday right on the end. There we go. And then we need to graph our numbers. So on Monday, we had 2 inches. So we're going to put a dot. And Tuesday, we had 2 inches in the rain gauge. And Wednesday, we had 3 inches, so we want to count carefully and count up 3 lines. And Thursday, we had 6 inches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. And Friday, we had 8 inches, so go up to the 6 where you were, and then count up 2 more spaces. And then Saturday, we had 9 inches, so go up to the 8 and count up 1 more, and then connect your dots. And your line should look like that. Your assignment for tonight is to answer questions 1 and 2 at the bottom of page 382 on your own, and be prepared to share with a neighbor or friend in class tomorrow. Be sure to go back to your teacher's webpage and complete the exit slip. Be sure you are able to write the lesson objective in the form of an I can statement, and be sure you understand the lesson. Thank you. We'll see you in class tomorrow.